What's going on, frauds? Today, I'm going to be infallibly, objectively, with bias, of course, ranking all of the pay per views of 2024. It is time for the influx of end of the year content, and I figured it is perfect to start off with this. And we are only doing the main cards, guys. When I say pay per views, I mean pay per views. I'm not going to be cheating like Hapuro MMA and including the prelims. That is not the pay per view. The pay per view is just the main card. So, Hapuro MMA, even though you beat me to this topic, your video is invalid for that reason. So, I'm going to be correcting you and I'm going to be providing the real best pay per views of 2024. You clowns are welcome for this breathtaking content. I'm going to get straight into it and I'm going to be going in chronological order. And the first pay per view of this year was UFC 297. This card was a complete piece of filth, bro. I remember being so beyond pissed off watching this trash ass card, man. I was on my pre-Caner retreat. You know, I had just been sitting through fucking like lectures all day, and all I wanted to do was get to my hotel and feast my eyes on a great card. This card had me hyped because Sean Strickland was talking all sorts of shit to Canadians, frying up liberal beta males, just making me happy as Sean Strickland does during his fight lead-ups. So I was really, really excited for this main event, but I couldn't fucking get to the main event because I fell asleep because this card was sleep-inducing garbage. Horrifically bad card, bro. It started out with Arnold Allen versus Movsar Evloev, and of course Movsar Evloev, being the decision merchant he is, the boring, illegal knee-baiting fraud that he is, when Arnold Allen had him in the fucking clinch, and this man is just reaching to the canvas to milk an illegal knee, a complete pussy. This is why I don't respect him. This is why I can't wait to see Ilia Topuria knock this clown out cold. I know for a fact that he will, and I cannot wait to see that. And that was a robbery. What is that? The third robbery in a row for Movsar Evloev. Complete fraud. And then we had Chris Curtis versus whoever the fuck this guy is. Chris Curtis sucks. No one remembers that fight. No one ever will remember that fight. Neil Magny fraud checking Mike Mallet turned out to mean nothing. Anytime that Neil Magny is fraud checking anyone, I'm upset. And we had that god awful piece of filth travesty of a co-main event. Raquel Pennington versus Mayra Bueno Silva. This was the nail in the coffin for me. This was the melatonin for me. This is what put me out. I could not physically bear to stay awake for this trash ass fight. I really tried. Dude, I had a whole ass bucked up. I was ready to stay up for this whole card. And this fight was so fucking boring. This card was so boring that it put me to sleep regardless. And that is why it is the biggest piece of filth of the card. I couldn't even watch this main event live because I fell asleep because of this trash ass co-main event. Fuck this piece of shit card. You know, I did end up going back to rewatch the fight, the main event, and I did enjoy it, but I didn't get to enjoy it live. Therefore, piece of filth, unforgivable, hot garbage. But thankfully, we get to get a little extremist here. We got a breathtaking card right here, man. A breathtaking card in UFC 298, bro. This card was fire. We had Ilia Topuria taking Chad Alexander Volkanovski's title. My golly, this is what the division needed. This is what the UFC needed, whether we wanted it or not, whether we could accept it or not at the time. You know, there was a time where I thought this was CGI. Then I just came to understand, no, Ilia Topuria is the GOAT of the featherweight division. He is my king. I love this guy. I love everything about this guy. He is what the featherweight division needed. This is what we need right here. And this is what we got. And I'm very happy about it. Amazing, breathtaking performance from him. Electrifying performance, as always. One of the most entertaining fighters in history, Ilia Topuria. We had the Robert Whittaker versus Paulo Costa for the co-main event. Great fight. Yeah, we had Ian Cucciato Ferry versus Jeff Neal, which was the dud. That was the dud of the pay-per-view. You know, I could arguably actually bring this down to amazing. I might change it back and forth, but you know, we'll see. Just because that fight really was trash. Ian Gary is just such a dud on every card this guy is on. He brings it down a notch. It's just the Ian Gary effect. I mean, no one wants to watch this vegan soy boy cuck fight at all because he's just so boring. And I say that respectfully. The Merab fight, though, Merab versus Henry Cejudo, very entertaining fight. Merab aura drained Henry Cejudo, my former king. Any card that has Merab and Ilia Topuria taking thick ass dubs on the same card, bro, gotta be at least amazing. That shit is amazing. I love it so much. And Anthony Hernandez, Roman Kopylov, Hernandez supremacy. Great. This was a great card. This was an amazing card, if you will. It's aged very well. And then we had UFC 299 here. UFC 299. I think, you know what? I think this card was also amazing. It really was. We started off with some hot garbage, and then we started getting treated, man. I'm not going to lie. This year, we got a little spoiled this year. You know, Piotr Jan making his comeback against Song Yadong. We needed that Piotr Jan dub, and we finally got it. Thanks be to God. Very satisfying, very fun fight. And then we had Jack Della Maddalena dusting up Gilbert Burns. I don't want to hear anything about, you know, Jack Della Maddalena struggling against Gilbert Burns, and that's why he's overrated, bro. He had a broken arm in that fight, and he still knocked out Gilbert Burns cold after Gilbert Burns was just trying to fucking wet blanket him. You know, we were very, very happy to see Jack Della Maddalena take that dub, take that knockout. Very satisfying. Please, Jack, I'm going to need you to come back as soon as possible. I'm tired of your absence. I'm getting restless. This JDM versus Carlos Prates fight better be happening. I'm sick of waiting for Kamaru Usman. He could fuck off. I want JDM versus Carlos Prates, but that's besides the point. And then we had MVP versus Kevin Holland. Masterclass from MVP. And MVP injected some high levels of excitement into the welterweight division, and I'm very happy he's here. And it was nice to see him dust up Kevin Holland. It's always fun seeing Kevin Holland get dusted up. And he did it in the most style that anyone ever had, so I appreciate that. Dustin Poirier knocking out Benoit Saint Denis, bro. We were all so hyped. I went to Buffalo Wild Wings for this card, and I remember embracing strangers, bro. I'm going up to random strangers, and we're screaming in each other's faces, beating each other's chests, fucking kissing each other and shit. It was just such a magical moment. Unfortunately, it led to an undeserved title shot, but hey, man, it was a great knockout, very satisfying. The only reason that this is not in the breathtaking tier is because the main event, bro, is just so irrelevant. Like Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Vera. What an irrelevant, stupid, piss poor main event that is. Sean O'Malley, he's such a manufactured star. He will never, ever headline a card that is breathtaking. It's not possible. He does not deserve to be headlining anything. All of his cards flop financially, and he's not a real star. And this was a trash-ass fight that meant nothing. Well, no, it wasn't even a trash-ass fight. It's just an irrelevant fight. And no matter how good it was, I don't care if it turned out to be the greatest fight of all time, it would still be irrelevant because there was just no reason this fight should have been happening. And in hindsight, forgettable performance. No one gives a shit about it. O'Malley is left in the dust because he was never a real star, and that's just facts. And then, oh boy, breathtaking, 100% across the board, man. UFC 300 was absolutely breathtaking from the prelims to the main card. We're only talking about the main card, though, because that is the pay-per-view, and this pay-per-view was fucking amazing, bro. This was my birthday card. Every single weekend that is either on my birthday or right around my birthday, the UFC always delivers to me a fucking amazing card, and this is the best gift I ever could have gotten, bro. This card was so gas. I don't even care that the irrelevant ass Bo Nickel, Cody Brundage fight was on the main card. Stupid, I spit on it. But we had Charles Oliveira versus Armin Sarukian, which was a great fight. And we had fucking Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje, bro. I remember roaring when that shit happened. Me and my boys were freaking the fuck out. It was one of the most magical, testosterone-filled hype moments of my entire life. I remember I was a bottle and a half of Ciroc into this card, and I remember every bit of it, bro. Like, no amount of Ciroc could have got me to forget the hype that was experienced that night, bro. That was probably like top 5 moments of my entire life. One of the greatest knockouts in UFC history. And, you know, we had the Zhang Wei Li versus Yan Xiaonan. You know, we all crashed after the Max Holloway fight, and I'm glad we did because we woke up just in time for the Chadlix Pereira, Jamal Hill humiliation ritual. That shit was, oh man, so iconic. The left hook, the tongue flapping, the emoting, the let me cook moment, like just amazing. Just absolutely amazing. I remember all of us complaining that this was the main event. In hindsight, man, I'm so happy that this was the main event. Amazing card, breathtaking card, one of the greatest cards I've ever seen. Even though there were two duds on there, don't give a fuck because what delivered really, really fucking delivered. After that, UFC 301 gonna have to be mid for me. Look, there were Kyle Baralho knocking out Paul Craig. Okay, it was funny, not memorable though. Neither of them should be on the main card of a pay per view in 2024. Michelle Pereira versus Ihor Peteria. Entertaining fight for, the only minute that it lasted, but doesn't belong on the main event of a pay-per-view in 2024. Anthony Smith being on the main card of a pay-per-view in 2024 is unacceptable and brings it down a notch automatically. I don't care if he won. Who the hell is Vitor Petrina? You're telling me these clowns belong in the main card of a pay-per-view in 2024? That's what you're telling me? Jose Aldo versus Jonathan Martinez, great performance from Jose Aldo, but that's not enough to save the card. And all the fights that were happening before that, man, they just kind of put me to sleep because who gives a shit? Barely any name value on this card whatsoever. So it got me to fall asleep by the time the main event rolled around. So I missed the main event. And if there's not enough name value on the card that's exciting me enough to stay awake on a pay-per-view, then I'm going to sleep. I got some shut eye. I rewatched the fight. It was a good fight, but just mid. This card's just got mid written all over it. No one remembers this card, bro. It's a very forgettable card, respectfully. And then we had UFC 302. Horrifically bad card, bro. Horrifically awful piece of shit card. Oh my gosh. Islam Makhachev defending against Dustin Poirier automatically brings this shit down here. It just goes to show that Islam Makhachev is incredibly overrated. And this fight just made no sense whatsoever. Very stupid matchmaking. And then before that, we had to sit through fucking Sean Strickland playing footsies with Paulo Costa for 25 straight minutes, which felt like 25 straight hours. Awful, awful fight. Sean Strickland doesn't deserve a title shot off of this travesty of a performance. What a piece of shit performance this was. Kevin Holland versus Mikhail Alexejczyk. Who gives a shit? Nobody remembers. Nobody cares. Nico Price versus Alex Morono. Are you fucking serious, bro? This is a 2017 preliminary ass fight. And Randy Brown versus whoever the fuck this guy is. Who is this? Zaleski dos Santos. Are you serious? Are you serious? This is on the main card of a pay-per-view in the year 2024. Get the fuck out of here. Trash ass card, forgettable ass card, irrelevant ass card. I despise this card. And I'm upset and sick to my stomach that I was just reminded of its existence. Fuck this card. But then we got to wash the garbage out of our mouth with UFC 303. But it unfortunately is mid. Ian Cucciato Ferry kicking off the main card, fighting MVP in a trash-ass, boring-ass fight in which MVP got robbed. Very disappointing fight. Had banger written all over it, but, I learned then and there that, Ian Gary's not here to be entertaining like he says he is. He's not here to be high level and elite like he says he is. Nah, this guy is just here to put me to sleep and piss me off and make me just want to gouge my eyes out. Terrible way to start off the card. And then, fucking Macy Chasson versus Mayra Bueno Silva. It was entertaining from what I remember. It ended in a finish, but I don't give a shit. I think it ended in a doctor stoppage too. No one remembers it. No one cares. Roman Dolidze versus Anthony Smith. What a complete joke. Diego Lopez versus Dan Ige. Wasn't the best fight, but it was all right. And, I give them a pass because it was like a 3-hour notice fight. Whatever. And, Chadlix Pereira knocking out Yuri was very fun to see, I guess. But none of the matchups made sense to be on this card. Like, they had to scramble together to save this because of the Conor McGregor pullout. And it was just a whole fucking mess. And, for what they did, at least it rose up to the occasion to be mid. At least we had that. We're taking a bath to breathtaking. UFC 304. Look, this whole card could have been complete garbage up until that main event. The main event alone would bring it up to breathtaking because we finally got to see Bilal Muhammad. Remind everyone of his name. Now y'all know, and don't act like you don't. Bilal Muhammad, the most common name on earth, the most memorable name on earth. Dusted up Leon Edwards on home soil. One of the most satisfying, breathtaking, electrifying performances ever witnessed by human eyes. Just amazing. Just absolutely amazing. This is what I've been waiting years for, and I finally got it delivered to me. Patience really paid off. with this one, man. I'm so happy that I got to witness this live. One of the greatest, most beautiful, poetic moments I've ever witnessed in my entire life. Tom Aspinall proved to be John Jones' superior by defending his undisputed belt. And, the Patty Pimblett Queen Green fight was sick. It was quick and it was sick. I loved it. Became a Patty Pimblett fan that day. Can't go wrong with that. And then, we had Gregory Rodriguez versus Christian Leroy Duncan and, Arnold Allen versus Giga Chikadze. Don't really remember those fights, but I don't really care because this card was very top heavy and the top massively outweighs the bottom. And that's really all I ask for. If the top 3 fights are fucking breathtaking, or if just 3 out of the 5 fights on the main card are breathtaking, then it's breathtaking. But yeah, Bilal Muhammad really carried this one as he does. I mean, he's carrying the UFC on his back, so it makes perfect sense that he would carry this card. And then UFC 305. Oh boy. This is what started off the channel. UFC 304 started off the channel, but this is what really launched it. And I appreciate that very much. Look, anytime I see Israel Adesanya take a fat, embarrassing, horrific L, then I'm on cloud 9. I got my tap dance shoes on and I start ripping the fucking dance floor. That's exactly what happened. I went and I spit glorious facts after this fight happened and the channel took off. Therefore, it's just breathtaking. And, the performance, the DDP performance was fucking amazing. All the shit he talked, making Adesanya cry on fight week and then just dusting him up in the cage, outclassing him on the feet, making him tap like a little bitch. Beautiful. Showed him how real Africans fight. Just beautiful, man. Warmed my heart. Whenever I'm feeling sad, whenever I'm feeling down, I just replay this in my head. I don't even need to watch it because I have the memory implanted into my dome permanently. I can't unsee it. One of my favorite moments of all time. Just beautiful, man. Just what a masterpiece. And the card was pretty good too. Kai Kara France knocking out Steve Erceg like I said he would. That was cool. I mean, that he is a nasally little annoying fuck, but it's whatever. I don't even care, man, because the main event carries. The Dan Hooker versus Gamrot fight too. Bro, Dan Hooker brought a good fight, a great fight out of Mateusz Gamrot. Let that sink in. That's how high level this card is. That's how electrifying this card is. Dude, a Jairzinho Rosenstrike fight was entertaining. Jairzinho Rosenstrike going to a decision, that's never entertaining. Well, on this card it was. Carlos Prates knocking out that cheating, eye-gouging Chinese fuck, Li Jingliang. Yeah, I'm not a Li Jingliang fan over here, unlike you normies. You're just like, but I feel bad because he didn't get to wear his suit at the press conference. Man, fuck him in his suit. Fuck him, fuck his suit. He's an eye-gouging prick, and I'm glad he got slapped. Made me so happy. This card is amazing. Breathtaking, amazing card. And then UFC 306 is amazing. I was shitting on this card quite a bit going into it because on paper, it is a trash ass card, but I gotta say it delivered. The Sphere is fucking cool, man. I want them to go back to the Sphere. I don't care how expensive it is. Y'all got the money. Dana White, go ahead and take all that fucking power slap money you keep wiping your ass with. That apparently you're just sitting on thrones of power slap money. Go ahead and bring us back to the Sphere. I'm gonna need to see another Sphere card. I'm gonna need to see it with a better card on paper, please. No, not please. I demand it. This shit was sick, bro. I hate to sound like a normie. I hate to sound like a fucking idiot who's just likes looking at pretty lights and pretty colors. But dude, the graphics were sick. I loved it. It looked like a fucking Aztec death arena. It was just sick. I mean, in concept, it was awesome. It just delivered. The ring girls looked good too. It just worked. And the fights were great. Ronaldo Rodriguez versus O'Day Osborne had no business on paper being on a main card, but it fucking delivered. Danielle Zellhuber versus Esteban Robovics. Dude, I barely knew who these two were, and I think this might have been the best fight of the year. I remember that fight being so fucking wild, bro. That fight was so crazy, and I'm so glad I watched it. Diego Lopez dusting up Brian Ortega. Bro, beautiful. Beautiful. We got to see Diego Lopez finally leap over Movsar Evloev. Yeah, that's right, Movsar. You got that robbery decision over Diego Lopez, and then he just lapped you. How does that feel, you inbred scrub? But then, unfortunately, it came to a grinding halt with Valentina Shevchenko versus Alexa Grasso. Awful, horrific piece of trash fight. Every single women's title fight this year has been irrelevant garbage, nothing short of irrelevant steaming trash. And that is why they should not be allowed in the company anymore. I say that, of course, respectfully. I've ranted enough about that fight on my UFC 306 recap. If you want to hear me get upset about it, you can go ahead and rewatch that video. I don't have it in me to fucking rant about this trash ass fight anymore. But, you know, to top it all off, the cherry on top of this beautiful card was Merab dusting up Sean O'Malley. Thank you so much, Merab, for saving us from the cringe, from this fucking clownery. I greatly appreciate it, and I am eternally indebted to you. You know what? I might go ahead and fucking stick this in the breathtaking. Nah. Yeah, I'm going to stick it in breathtaking. It makes up for that trash-ass co-main. Fucking great card, man. Please, for the love of Christ, go back to the Sphere. Then, unfortunately, we got to bring it down here. Nah, it's garbage. It's not a piece of filth, but it is garbage. UFC 307 is trash, bro. This was a trash-ass, forgettable, ridiculous card. Look, Chadlix Pereira versus Khalil Roundtree was the only highlight. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And that fight, you know, look, I break Magomed Frog Kaliev's balls all the time saying he doesn't deserve a shot, which he doesn't. But it should have been him in there, man. Like, this fight just makes no sense. It's so fucking irrelevant. It was a sick fight, though. And, you know, I'm glad I watched it. But it's so inconsequential. It really is. And then, dude, another co-main event of females fighting, another 5 rounds of torment. Don't care if the fight ended up being better than we thought it was going to be. Still irrelevant dog water. If Raquel Pennington and or Juliana Pena is co-main eventing, I'm checking the fuck out, bro. I'm going to the bathroom. I'm rolling a J. I'm drinking my fucking sorrows away. I'm doing anything other than watching this trash. And, you know, Mario Batista fucking just that little fucking 50-year-old chain-smoking looking piece of shit midget. Like, I've already said everything I needed to say about Mario Batista. He fucked this whole card. Roman Dolidze chatted his way to a Kevin Holland injury TKO, which, I mean, I guess that's cool. You know, I'll take that. And then Kayla Harris and Kellen Vieira, get the fuck out of here. Bro, 2 female fights on the main card? Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, it's garbage. And then UFC 308, dude. UFC 308, absolutely breathtaking, phenomenal, beautiful masterpiece of a card, bro. Masterpiece. What did I say? I said Ilia Topuria was going to sleep Max Holloway. Everyone pointed and laughed at us. And then we pointed our fingers at you, handed you your clown university degree, and sent you fucking packing, boy. Y'all are in clown school now. We told you. We did it. We knocked out Max Holloway. That's just what we do. That's what we are capable of, bro. Ilia Topuria is my king. Greatest featherweight on the planet. Greatest featherweight of all time. Fact, not an opinion. And he did that all in just 1 year. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that amazing how great this guy is? Ilia Topuria lived up to the hype. He is the hype. And there's no getting around that. There is simply no getting around that. And this whole card was gas, bro. Khamzat Chimaev is back. He has exited his mid phase and he is back to inject some much needed star power into the UFC. Submitted Robert Whittaker in the first round. As I said he would, everyone called me crazy. All these so-called hardcore fans were picking Robert Whittaker to win. I tried to educate you. You wouldn't listen. Maybe you'll listen to me from now on. But yeah, that was a fucking amazing performance. Magomed Frog Kaliev, Alexander Rakic, you know, lower point on the card. Lerone Murphy versus Danny Ige was a good fight. The Sharaput and Magomedov, Armin Petrosian knockout. No, that was aesthetically, this was probably the most beautiful knockout I've ever seen. What a fucking amazing knockout this was. 10 out of 10 card. Beautiful masterpiece. I think we all agree that this is breathtaking and incredible. Then we got UFC 309, which was a travesty of a card. Man, I was so pissed off going into this card. We all knew that this card was trash on paper, and oh boy, did that trash come to fruition. What an awful, awful card. John Jones versus Stipe Miocic is the most non-title fight I've ever seen. No reason that this fight should be happening in 2024. Stipe is an old, senile man, had no business being in there. If it was Tom Aspinall, then we would have seen John Jones get knocked out and it would have been the greatest card of all time. But we got the complete opposite of that. We got one of the worst cards of all time. Terrible pay-per-view. There were clowns trying to tell me that this pay-per-view was good, trying to gaslight me in my comments saying, yeah, man, this card was good, man. What are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? What about this card was good? Let's start off from the bottom. Mauricio Ruffy versus James Lyontop. Who the fuck is that? James Lyontop? Are you serious? Mauricio Ruffy, yeah, it was a good performance. Do you remember it though? No, the fuck you don't. And who would? And Vivian Araujo versus Karine Silva. Yo, I guarantee 0% of you even watched that because we were all taking bathroom breaks. I know I was smoking my life away. I was rolling up and puffing the whole time. You think I'm gonna sit down and subject myself to that garbage? You're fucking crazy. And then I came back in and I, for some reason, watched the Bo Nickel and Paul Craig fight. I wish I didn't. I wish I would have been drinking bleach and fucking wiping my ass with sandpaper rather than watching this trash ass fight. Get Bo Nickel the fuck off of main cards. He is never, ever the highlight of any card ever. So why is he on the main card? If anything, he's costing the company money. No one is paying to watch him. Nobody gives a fuck about Bo Nickel. And I say that respectfully. And the Charles Oliveira Michael Chandler fight was a letdown. Michael Chandler sucks, bro. He's trash. He will never win a fight at MSG. And he desperately tried to cheat his way to a win. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. But I mean, at least Charles Oliveira had a good performance, but that's not enough to save this card, man. Not even remotely close. This card went on until like 2 in the morning. Any card that does that, completely unacceptable. And that main event, of course, was just pathetic and ridiculous. Fuck this card. And then to finish it off, the card that just ended it all this year, UFC 310. Amazing card, bro. I'm not going to let you clowns try and tell me that this main card was bad. You are a moron if you think that this card is bad, straight up. You're a complete dipshit. Doo-Ho Choi Masterclass. Come on now. Come on now. You know that you enjoyed that fight. You know that you're hyped for a Doo-Ho Choi title run. You know that you are. Don't tell me that you're not. Bryce Mitchell flattening Kron Gracie, and y'all wanted Movsar Evloev and Frogman Sterling on the main card instead of this? You're crazy, bro. I was sitting front row with a bucket full of popcorn, ready to see Kron Gracie get flattened, and that's what I got, and I was very satisfied. How were you not satisfied watching that? What the hell is the matter with you? Chad Alexander Volkov fucking up Cyril Gahn. Very satisfying. Unfortunately, that robbery brought it down a notch. It brought it down a lot, actually. That pissed me off. But at least it made John Jones look bad. So, like, it's still a win. Anything that makes John Jones look bad makes me feel good. And that's exactly what I got from that fight. So it was very satisfying nonetheless. And, you know, Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Ian Gary, very boring and disappointing fight, but it made Bilal Muhammad look great. Bringing Bilal Muhammad in the cage to Oromog, the Oralist fraud that is Shavkat Rakhmonov, bro, warms my heart. I think about this shit when I'm feeling down and it brings me up. Anything that does that is nothing short of amazing. And then Chad Alexander Pantoja versus Kai Asakura, bro, gas. How can you, with a straight face, tell me that this card is bad? You're stupid and you have bad taste. This card was fire. It was amazing. I can't quite call it breathtaking because of those few problems I had with it, but it was good, man. It was a great card. I was giving 2024 a lot of shit. It's mainly the fight night cards. Most of those were trash this year. But I gotta say, man, the UFC cooked this year on pay-per-views. I got to say, it was one of the better years of fights that I've watched. And I am grateful that I got to witness all of these cards with you guys. Well, not all of them, because I showed up halfway through the year. But I'm grateful to be able to spit facts to you guys. I love spitting facts to you guys. I love giving you guys free money. And I love just talking about this shit to you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to do so. And you guys are welcome for the breathtaking content. No one really pumps out amazing, breathtaking masterpieces like I do. And you guys are just very welcome for that. Go ahead and show me gratitude by liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, hitting the notification bell, duplicating accounts, and duplicating said actions. I am going to be giving you guys a couple more videos this week. We got a lot of end of the year content to go over, and I cannot wait to provide it to you guys. I will see you clowns tomorrow and Friday. Goodbye, frauds.